Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and today I'm going to read on Krysten Sinema's Astrology, and that's because I found her exact birth time that has a AA rating, for accuracy. I found that online, and I also noticed that her birthday is coming up, July 12th. So I thought, oh, perfect. I'll look at her. Most of the makeup of her chart and then her natal chart. And then I'll also look at the transits to her natal chart. And I can look at her solar return too. So we can try and dive into her future. And especially because in the Kipper reading I did for her, she had cards came through that showed future, like money issues, which doesn't make sense at all to her because, or about her, because she has, she's an attorney. She's highly educated and has, great means to make money on top of her pension as a senator. If she stays in the whole 6 years, she has to stay in at least 5. But anyway, let me drop the camera down and I'll go through everything with you that I can find here with her astrological information. Okay. Okay, so let's start with her natal chart. And I'm not going to dive into it too terribly like I would if I were reading for one of my clients. But with Krysten, I'm mostly looking for her, her political future, because that's really what we care about. She's been very damaging. And so what I can see here is that she's come in this lifetime with the intention to have a career. I believe that she has come from many prior lifetimes as having, a career, or at least a voice and a way to express, who she is to the public. And that's especially true because we don't just have one planet up here like her sun. Just one planet up here like the sun would be, the sun or Saturn even, would be more than enough. But she has a stellium here in Cancer. She has her Sun, Venus, and Mercury all conjunct in Cancer. And then Saturn in Leo. Saturn in Leo brings in that quality of, putting yourself out there and having the courage to do it. I think her home life was probably detached from her feeling loved, because we have a square from her south node here to her moon, north and south node, and then we have Uranus and Scorpio indicating some soul shocks. So I think that as a little one, and then Chiron here is squaring the moon, my goodness, and the north node's all involved. So the nodes are involved. And focus here in this T-square is the moon, opposing her ability to put herself out in the world. I think what happened is that her childhood didn't afford the love and connection that she needed. So she decided to try and get, approval. Couldn't get the love, so she's going to go for the approval. So, and Saturn and Leo can demand a lot of attention if it's not, coming from someone who's highly evolved. And we know that she is not evolved. So, and besides that, we have this blind spot here of this inconjunct between her past life south node in Taurus to Pluto, to this life's Pluto. And it's also in the house of being unconscious as to how to navigate through relationship and be in relationship. If you're evolved, the Pluto in the 12th house can be an amazing thing. It helps you to become very spiritual as you grow and as you evolve. But this doesn't look like this is her situation in this lifetime. And her chart is ruled by Venus, And of course, Venus is up here in Cancer. So this is this, the negative side of Cancer can be this like self-righteous, and I have 4 planets in Cancer, so this is not, this isn't the way I normally read Cancer, but in her case, it's this self-righteous political, like we know the right way, and, you have to follow us, that kind of thing. It's just ridiculous. And it can be very, controlling to try and get what you want when it's up here in the 10th house. But, we have a grand square here. And between many planets and between the nodes, it makes it very, very challenging. So I don't care how wealthy she is. I don't care what power she has currently as a representative. I don't care. Or is she a senator? I forget. My goodness, I can't keep track of all these people. You're going to have to clue me in. Yeah, that's right. She's a senator. I remember. She's a senator. So she's going to have at some point, if she can stay in there long enough, it's a 6-year term. If she can stay in there for at least 5 years, she'll have her benefits. And so finances can be good because she does have Jupiter in Taurus, and it is in the 8th house of other people's money and resources. But long term, there are problems here because of her unconsciousness and her inability to, Venus that rules her ascendant, and with Pluto close enough there to the ascendant, to manage her own finances and her own ability to connect with others in a way that is meaningful. So I don't really see a lot of success here long term. What I do see is a painful situation. And the reason I'm saying that is because you look where Pluto is in the natal chart, and because Pluto takes 243 to 248 years to get around the chart, we have once in a lifetime transits. So she's in her lifetime, she'll probably be lucky if she makes it over here to Pluto in the 7th house. So that tells me that her entire lifetime is set up so that she can try to transform her sense of self and her sense of what matters to her, what she values, when it gets through the 2nd house. And then coming into, she's already had Pluto cross over Uranus in her north node. She's done her education. She's been persevering. She's been working hard. When it comes to having your south node in Taurus, again, that's ruled by Venus, and it's up here. We're dealing with someone who has a lot of determination, and this, fixed polarity here that can be very stubborn to get what you want. And so she doesn't mind being, remember like that ring that she had on from my last video on her? I scrolled in and showed it. I don't want to say it out loud here. Well, it was basically F off, So I can say that. Anyway, I could say the other word if I wanted, but I don't want to. Anyhow, this is where this comes in. Like she's needing to wake up in this lifetime to understand the power of her speech and what she says and how she puts herself out there. I don't think she knows. I think she has, because Chiron's here, close to her south node, she still has wounding around having her real needs met and having her, the needs for love and comfort and safety. She didn't have that. But instead, she had parents who were wealthy enough to put her through, law school, and she has her degrees. So she's set up that way, but not in the loving and caring department, because she didn't get that, because probably she hasn't evolved enough to the point to where she actually deserves it. But please don't take that to heart if any of you have Chiron in Taurus, because it can mean something completely different. I'm just tuning into all the aspects here and knowing the things that she has said and done since she became a senator. So anyway, yeah. So back to the transits of Pluto. Well, you know what? I might as well. I can bring this back if you need to. Might as well look at her. Go ahead and look at her transits. We can see that Pluto started here in her 12th house of unconsciousness, 12th house of incompletion, 12th house of, it can be your wisdom and your wise unconscious if you work it, but you got to work it. But she didn't. So she's, Pluto's has moved through her first, second, and it's now in her third, and she's learning. So she had an opportunity to transform herself, but she was probably too young to actually do that, and it was just shocking for her to not have her real needs met, her real needs for love, and, and connection and warmth and comfort and safety, safety on the emotional levels, and it could be physical levels, but with her, I think she was probably okay. But by the time Pluto moved to her second house, this is probably where she just decided, well, I'm just gonna do what I want and try to get the attention that I want, in other ways. So I would think that she gave up on her parents giving her the love that she wanted, but she went towards their approval and other people's approval. And she still, she had the opportunity to come into a spiritual type of a lifestyle with Pluto conjuncting Neptune here, but she didn't do it. She didn't do it. So, and then Pluto went all the way through her third house, where she could have changed her mind a lot, where she could have changed the way she communicated, changed the way she networked with people, made great strides she could have made great strides in forming some type of a, community. And I don't know anything about her siblings, but that could be a powerful transit there. But I don't see that she did any of that. What she did is she probably just kept furthering her education and trying to, get back up here to all the power that she wanted, because that was her intention, is to understand her deep down higher self intention was to understand how power works. But now Pluto's in her fourth house of home, foundation, emotional transformation that needs to occur. And Saturn's there as well. So this is not an easy transit, and this will stay. I didn't look in the ephemeris to see when Pluto will hit her fifth house at 18 degrees Aquarius, but I'm guessing it's, 2030 something. But sooner than that, Pluto will cross over her moon, and Pluto conjunct moon can be very, very, very emotionally challenging, especially because it's going to oppose all these planets up here in the 10th house. Right now, Pluto's opposing, well, yeah, it's up here opposing her midheaven, but it's already over there a little bit. But there's that quality of an opposition. 25 degrees. What do we have here? I can't see that with, 27. Yeah, she has Pluto opposite Venus coming up. She's already had Pluto opposite her sun, Mercury, her sun. She's already had Pluto opposite her midheaven, Mercury, her sun, and now it's going to be Pluto opposite her Venus. She could have some intense, love type of relationship that doesn't go well. It could also be the intensity of feeling deeply the intensity of what she really wants, but I don't think she's going to get it. I don't think she's going to get it. And I say that because there's, there's a challenging square here to her Chiron. The closer Pluto creeps, through this fourth house, it's going to trigger the her Chiron there, I think. Yeah, so, but anyway, Saturn in the fourth isn't easy either, but she's gotten through just about, she probably has maybe another 6 months or so left with that. But then Saturn going through her fifth house of creative self-expression and willpower, it's also a house of, children too. I don't think that that's going to be very easy for her either. Jupiter's there now, in Pisces, opening her up to the possibility of communicating in a different way, but it doesn't look to me like she's just not on her path. The poor kid's she's not on her path. She's, I shouldn't call her a poor kid. She's a monster. She's a psychopathic monster. She's a psychopathic monster. Yeah. So Saturn's already gone over her moon. She had the opportunity to mature. This is a great opportunity to mature. Saturn's retrograde now. I don't know how far back it's going to retrograde. I didn't look at that. I should have looked at that. So she might get another opportunity to wake up and smell the cat box. But so far she hasn't. So far she's just been acting out. Acting out. Yeah. It's like her chart is set up in a way for her to really understand the repercussions of her nastiness and her meanness and her control issues. Yeah, okay. Neptune's in her sixth house brings in that quality, and it's going to stay here for quite a long time, of dissolving and shaking up a person's, it can be health matters, but she's still young enough that I doubt that bothers her too much. But then again, Neptune's going to stay there for a long time. It takes 164 years for Neptune to get around the chart. So this Neptune in the sixth house, it can be great for spiritual work. It can be great for spiritual service. It can be great for any type of work and service that helps others and involves compassion and caring. Be great transit for a caretaker or for anybody who was maybe, a spiritual leader or a person who, just wanted to help others in any way at all. And even make a living at it because, we do have the house of, this is service, and it's daily work and details and all that too. But the deal here is, I think these are transits that are showing us that she will not be reelected, that maybe she won't even finish her first term, because Neptune, when it's not used the right way, when source energy is not tapped into and used the right way, what happens is that it dissolves the area of life that it transits through. So we could see an effect of dissolving her service and her work, and dissolving her, even her health, maybe, as time goes on, because this is going to be here for a long time. Chiron soon will move into her seventh house of relationship, and she has her natal Chiron there. So at 51, she'll have her Chiron return, which is always meeting our deepest pain. So she has that to look forward to. I don't know how she'll handle it. Will she just continue to act out, or will she, feel into her pain and process it through and turn herself around? I don't know. Right now, she also has Uranus, and this will be here for about 7 years, she has Uranus in her 8th house of other people's resources and service. But it's also the house of transformation, death and rebirth. Uranus crossing over Jupiter, when that happens, probably next year or two, maybe 3 years when it becomes exact, that brings in that quality of shaking up any bit of expansion that she's been going towards. This could be a shocking type of a reversal of fortune. Uranus going over her south node, that should have helped her wake up to any past life wounding that she needed to, work through and heal. But it doesn't look to me like she did that work. Uranus going over her Chiron, crossing over her Chiron or her south node in these past years, her chart is set up to meet her pain and do the work. I mean, because we have a grand cross here. These are all very, very challenging aspects, but also when you work on the challenges, they turn into your strengths. I have a grand cross in my chart too. So I know this. But it means that you have to go through your pain and you have to find your false beliefs and turn them around. But instead, what she's done, she's just acted out her emotional pain and projected it onto others. And, and like, I don't know if she's as bad as Marjorie Taylor Greene, but man, that's... These young women in their power have not been using it correctly. So anyway, looking at the shorter term transits here is not, I don't think that's useful for our, my time. So let's look at her solar return. So her birthday's on July 12th, so it's coming up soon. I think today's the 3rd. And so with a solar return chart, you want to look at where the sun comes in. It's the most important place, and you want to pay attention to the ascendant as well. The sun for her is in the 11th house of goals and, group consciousness, dreams, hopes, wishes, all of that. Not dreams like dream time, but what you dream of having. So she's still wanting to have, her place of power, I'm sure. And she does have, this connection over here to delusional relationships in her case. I wouldn't say this about anybody else's chart, but in her case, she's got this easy, graceful connection to delusional people who are of like victim consciousness, and it's just, the awful Democrats and all of that baloney. And with her Virgo ascendant, I think she's going to be attracting criticism. And then because Virgo's ruled by Mercury is up here in her 10th house, I think she's going to just still be talking very, very political, very self-righteously. And I don't know how that's going to work for her very well, because to have Venus, Mars, and the Moon all in Leo in the 12th, and it's transiting Chiron, to have this much personal, with the personal planets in the sign of Leo in the 12th house, my goodness. And it's all squaring Uranus. Yeah, that's right, you guys. We have to remember we're all going through this Saturn-Uranus square. So everything here that's in this chart is all of the transiting planets, but the chart is set up to the day that the sun returns back to her natal. Let's see, let me show you her. Remember her natal sun, 20 degrees, 31 minutes Cancer. You can see we have the same thing here. So So the only thing that really truly applies to her as far as these placements is her sun. And then the ascendant is, of course, like I said, really important. But all the other planets are the same ones that we have in our charts, all in the same sign. So that's the reason I'm saying we all have this Uranus square Saturn going on, which is this trying to break free from this these old conditions. We're testing the limits, and safety is the thing that needs to happen. Safety and in a world where everybody has equal opportunity, to have their abundance and protection. So we're fighting for protection. We're fighting for laws that protect us and protect our right to vote. And Saturn in Aquarius can be very humanitarian, but it can also be kind of rigid thinking too, because it's a fixed sign. We've got fixed signs going on. But Uranus, it's like a battle between between breaking free and staying stuck. That's what's going on. And then we all have Neptune in, Pisces going through our charts at some point. It's in Trump's chart. It's squaring all of his, important planets. So that's why he's having so much trouble now too. But anyway, so how it's affecting Krysten Sinema is the ninth house is politics. The ninth house is publishing. It's also spiritual law, natural law, higher courts. So I'm wondering if because it's squaring Saturn here in her sixth house of service, I'm wondering if she gets busted for something this year. Maybe something comes out about, what she's done in the past. Yeah, because Saturn's all about the past, and it's about time, and it's about karma. And we're still in the the nodal placements between Sagittarius going for the truth, but it's also very political. It rules the ninth house up here. Sagittarius truth versus the information. She's deluded about what the truth is. So she can't put out truthful information. But she certainly can put herself out there, and this is what I see her doing this year, is putting herself out there in a way that just creates more duality, more dualistic. I see her as being duplicitous, very two-faced, just to get what she wants. And she's going to stay stuck with the old ways. And then check out here how it's 5 degrees apart, but it's still within orb, how Pluto is opposing her sun. So Pluto power, the power of her willpower, opposing her sun, and in the realm of what she wants, what she's going after, and her, her ability to nurture, and which is just absent. She's not nurturing anything except craziness. But to nurture the group consciousness. But what she's doing is she's nurturing the group consciousness of Crazy Town. And I don't see that that's going to stop. But this is not going to be fun for her. Uranus in the ninth house is, remember when I did all those readings on Trump, in his astrology, I kept seeing him being involved in courts of law, because he had Uranus up here. I think it was more like over in here, and then we knew it was going to hit his midheaven. But anyway, he'll be going to court soon, His Weaselberg is his perp walk just, was it yesterday or the day before? Oh, that was fun to see. Anyway, so yeah, and and again, squaring the status quo, but the way we want our lives to be, But it's shaken up her daily life. That's the thing. Jupiter trining, let's see, trines up here her Mercury. Yeah, she's just going to be talking big. She's going to be talking big, thinking she's living large, and she's out there just, She's going to play it like she's this patriot that is fighting for justice. Jupiter, justice, but she's delusional. She's delusional. And Jupiter can create loss sometimes. Neptune dissolves if you're not, like I said, if you're not working in the light, and she's not. So that this is dissolving. This has the effect of dissolving her relationships. And she's blindsided to it because there's an inconjunct here to her moon, so she's really unconscious about how her relationships can be dissolving, like, based on her egomaniacal psychopathy. But yeah, so this doesn't. I wouldn't want this solar return. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. Dissolving relationships, possibility for courts of law, to be involved in courts of law, and get her comeuppance because of her past service. And then Venus squaring Uranus up here. If she's found to be guilty of something, fomenting violence, it's gonna rock her to her core, because to have this square to all these personal planets, and these are in a tight orb here, 1 degree, 2 degrees apart here, squaring Uranus. And then it squares back here to Saturn. So this Saturn square Uranus, challenge that we're all going through connects this year over to the personal planets that will affect her unconsciously. And so I think she's just going to act out more. And there's a connection to Chiron as well. So, yeah. I think I've exhausted looking at this in a way that's going to give us any more information. But as far as how her abundance is affected this year, because remember, I decided to do these charts because I saw something. Well, with the reading I did before, it looked like she was going to have money problems. But it could be, maybe I just read it wrong, and it's that she is for impoverishing, people. But that will still bite her in the butt later on, because, they'll vote her out. She won't stay in if she's not working and helping people. But, to look at abundance, we want to look at Venus and Mars especially, is to like Venus what you receive, and Mars what you go after. But it's square Uranus up here, and in Uranus and Taurus, especially Taurus, can have to do with money, as well as Scorpio and Capricorn, and then having Pluto in her 5th house. And there's this sesquisquare here, just about like a square. It's not really any different. To her, midheaven. That's challenging too. So I don't see her career doing well. I don't see her doing a second term as senator. And I don't know how well her career is going to do if she's involved in some type of a court, or lawsuit. If it's not a lawsuit, it could be that she has a big breakthrough in her belief system, because the ninth house is all about beliefs. And Uranus there can definitely shake everything up. But because it's square Saturn, it would be very painful. It wouldn't be like the breaking through of a false belief. It would be this painful realization that she's not serving. So I don't know how financially she's going to do in the future. I don't see her doing well financially, honestly, just because she's not headed in the right direction that she needs to go in order to work out her karma. She has karma in her leadership. She has leadership karma. And she has karma in using people, using relationships. Yeah. As a means to her own end. And this is, the psychopathy, the narcissism is there. She's like not connected to her heart. She's got this lust for power in order to feel worthy. And so, that's not going to work out in the long run. Especially coming in on the heels of the Trump administration. We can all see how that worked for Trump, and we have no more patience left. We have zero patience for this type of narcissism and psychopathy and especially it's from many past lives. Many. I just heard many past lives. She's not meant to get away with it again, I don't think. So, anyway, I think I'll just close this up for now, and we'll just keep an eye on it, and keep an eye on her. Vote her out. My goodness. Get her out of politics. My goodness. She's just, yeah. I mean, Arizona can do so much better. It does not need anyone like her. Ugh, she's just hideous. Very narrow-minded and selfish is what I'm getting here. Very narrow-minded, egomaniacal, cut off from her heart, and selfish. So anyway, all right. Now I feel bad for bad-mouthing her, or maligning her, but she's just, oh my goodness. She's an awful person to have in a position of power. And we do need new laws. We need laws to protect against government, being a government official and having any position of power. We need psychological testing. We need laws to protect from people like her. Because once they're in, they can do a lot of damage. And we're seeing that, with what Trump did. My goodness. I mean, if the best Biden can do in this next 4 years is just clean up on aisle 45, then I would say, my hat's off to him. But I think he's going to do a lot more than that. So, but anyway, I'm done with this gal. And I'm going to get it uploaded. Hope you guys are doing well. Have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. And stay safe. Take good care as always. Okay, bye.